Good evening. This is the July 20th meeting of the Urban Design Commission, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 6:09 p.m. On June 16th, 2021, Governor Baker signed into law an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. This act includes an extension until April 1st, 2022 of the remote meeting provisions of his March 12th, 2020 executive order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Therefore, we are today, this evening, on remote GoToMeeting. I believe we have, I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda in front of me right this second, or it's not open. I have it. So the agenda for this evening involves precisely one case. Actually, sorry, let me back up. We have some meeting minutes to approve. So let's do that first before we go to our project. So I need to get a motion. I believe the meeting minutes have been shared for May 22nd, June 8th, and June 22nd, 2021. Are there any comments or revisions to those meeting minutes? All right, hearing none, I'm going to request a motion to approve all three sets of meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Frank. Roll call. Do I have a second? I'm sorry.
Second.
Seconded by Deborah. Roll call vote. Frank?
Yes.
Deborah?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
And Tim?
Yes.
So the meeting minutes are approved unanimously. Thank you. All right. Now, our first case, our only case this evening, is 40 Trull Street, a backyard cottage. So Andrew, if you could unmute the presenter. I will stress, please, that to the applicant that we have, we would like to limit your presentation to 20 minutes so that the commission has time to ask questions and discuss and make comments appropriately. I also am just on the record, I don't have a power cord for my computer this evening. If I lose connectivity, Courtney can certainly continue to chair the meeting, and I will join by telephone.
Hello.
Hello? Hello? You're very soft. You're very soft.
Okay, one moment. Would it be possible to do it through the phone and just share my screen?
Can the commission hear?
We heard her initially at the beginning, but then she faded out.
Yeah. Andrew, can you provide instructions if phone is needed?
Yes. I will include the number in the chat.
Anybody there? Do we have contact?
It doesn't appear that they have called in yet, Sarah.
Okay.
Well, actually, they have.
All right, so we're still not, okay.
Yes, hello.
There we are.
Yeah, did you call in or are you still via your computer audio?
Yes, hi, I've called in now. Can you hear me now?
Yes, on my
Yes.
end, I can.
We can hear you.
Did we lose you again?
Yeah, sorry, yes, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very apologies for this. Got some feedback. Do you have feedback on your end?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. And just let me know if you have any issues not hearing me throughout the rest of the presentation.
Okay.
All right. Can everyone see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so this evening, we appreciate your time. This is the presentation of a backyard cottage to 40 Troll Street. The existing house that faces Troll, you can see it here in the front picture here, and probably one that you wouldn't easily forget, as the house itself has this interesting roof design on it. In the very back of this first photograph, you can see there's an existing brick garage that is actually kind of falling down right now. The proposed backyard cottage is going to be at that current location. So just a quick overview, if you continue to see the screen there, the site is located not far from Medford Street and also not too far from the future Green Line for the Lagoon Square station. And it is located in the residential zone here. And here's a closer view of the neighborhood street. 40 Troll does have adjacent neighbors to the north and south residential. And then really northwest to the top of the page there's also an apartment building. The existing house, you can see in the top left corner, down the street on Troll, is made of or is cladded rather in siding, in horizontal siding. It has, as I mentioned, this kind of particular roof shape to it, and the existing backyard cottage would be where this brick structure is here. It's a two-car garage that is scheduled to be removed once we have all the approvals for that. Next, you should see a site plan showing you the existing conditions of that garage, and also what is dictated to us by the zoning requirements for a backyard cottage, which in essence needs to be set back from the street at least 60 feet and maintain at least a 3-foot rear and side yard setback. And in addition, you must be at least 10 feet away from the existing structure. So given those parameters, we have a proposed site plan just to orient you where that backyard cottage would be placed is within those setbacks. And as we walk through the proposed facades, which is the primary reason for this review in our understanding, is that we will maintain that 10-foot separation from the existing house. And in general, the width of the backyard cottage is a couple of feet shorter than its existing width, and the depth of the proposed cottage is deeper than the garage. And just a side note, one of the requirements for backyard cottage is that in addition to any kind of drive-up lane so that the fire department could potentially come down the driveway, there must be a separate 3-foot access path off the street. So that's what we're suggesting at the bottom of this plan here. And next, if there's interest, I could go over this in more depth, but the backyard cottage typology does have a max allowable footprint of 576. That's what we're showing here. And we will be working with a landscape provider to determine what kind of paving, what exact permeable paver we will be using to install the driveway, to refinish the driveway, I should say. The existing driveway is kind of broken up asphalt, and it will need to be refinished. And in doing so, we're going to maintain below the threshold for the green score. So going right into the different elevation options, which by the commission's requirements, we're going to be showing you 3 different elevation options for this backyard cottage. And so for the first view, you should be seeing option 1, which is showing horizontal siding on this cottage. All 3 of our options are using a gable style roof, and we've shown a couple different dormer and roof intersections to talk through with you. And I should say that we have a couple different, not that this is under your purview, but a couple different floor plan options that we're showing our client, and those will dictate really the final dormer layout pending our discussion. So in the first one, this is a horizontal siding option. We are also introducing a pergola that would really set off the front of the building with brackets and create a sunshade for that facade. And on top, you'll see a regular shed dormer, and the shed dormer has a 4 and 12 pitch over this 10 and 12 major gable. On the next slide, we enlarged this just for the presentation purposes, but you'll see this at both the south and the north elevations. Again, you'll see that dormer in the background of the gable. On the south, we're proposing basically just an extension of a balcony. Would not be very deep. Would also provide some sun shading to the living space below. On the north elevation, very minor windows to provide some natural light to secondary spaces inside the cottage. And that would be the option 1, would be horizontal siding. Our second option for you to consider, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, also the rear elevation of the cottage. Very discreet in that we're trying to minimize any fenestration on this side so that we can be aware of the existing houses that are to the north of the site, existing apartment houses. And the property line is there just to indicate that we're still within the 3 feet of that. All right, option 2 is vertical board and batten. And here, in addition to the vertical board and batten, as I mentioned, another option for us in lieu of that shed dormer that you saw is to introduce a cross gable. And that would allow us to have the correct amount of egress should the top floor plan orient this way, the living area. And that should say kind of balcony portico over this front door. I'll show you in the next slide. It's actually not very deep, so I think it's fair to say that it's more of a Juliet style than really a full balcony. And on this slide, you should see north, west, and south options of the board and batten. Basically, very similar to the previous horizontal siding, except here there is a small dormer suggested, and I will show you at the last slide, to provide head height at the top of the stairs. Our third option and final option for the facade consideration is a vertical standing seam. So in truth, it does look very similar to a board and batten, but this would be a metal material. Given the past year, it's a little unprecedented as far as material costs, and so this would be a potential material that we could access in terms of cost. And the front facade again suggests a cross gable and a more of an extended Juliet balcony. And in this case, there would be instead of a typical rail, that we could introduce a cable rail. And once again,